The prison cafeteria was silent except for the sound of trays clattering and boots echoing on the floor. Then came the laughter, sharp, cruel, echoing off the concrete walls. Everyone turned to see the new inmate, a quiet woman with short black hair and calm eyes, standing motionless as a massive bully dumped a full plate of soup down her shirt. The bully grinned, towering over her. "Welcome to my playground, sweetheart," she sneered. The quiet woman didn't react, she simply lifted her gaze, her voice soft and steady. "You don't want to do this." The entire cafeteria burst into laughter. But within minutes, that same room would fall silent and no one would ever forget what they saw next. Samantha Lee had never imagined her life would lead here, a cold, steel-barred prison in the middle of nowhere. She wasn't a criminal by nature. She had been a self-defense instructor, teaching young girls how to protect themselves. But one night, everything changed. She'd stepped in to stop a group of men from attacking a teenage girl behind a gas station. The fight escalated, one man pulled a knife, and in defending herself, Samantha accidentally caused his fatal injury. The court saw her as dangerous. She saw herself as broken inside prison. She tried to keep her head down, do her time quietly. She meditated every morning, cleaned the common room, and stayed out of trouble. But that peace was like a drop of water in a desert, fragile and bound to evaporate. The other inmates noticed her silence, mistook it for weakness. Especially Brenda, the self-proclaimed queen of Block C, a broad-shouldered, tattoo-covered woman who ran the cafeteria with an iron fist. Brenda had ruled through fear for years. No one dared look her in the eye. Until Samantha arrived, the first encounter came at lunch. Samantha sat alone, quietly eating when Brenda swaggered over. "You're new meat," Brenda said, smirking. "You eat when I say you eat." Samantha didn't answer. Brenda slapped her tray off the table. The entire room watched. Samantha bent down, calmly picking up the spilled food. No reaction. No anger. Just quiet. Brenda laughed, calling her names, mocking her, humiliating her. That became a routine. Every day, Brenda pushed a little harder, spilled water, shoulder-checked her in the hallway, insulted her during head count. The guards looked away. Everyone did. Samantha endured it in silence, the same way she had endured pain all her life, with stillness, but inside her, a storm was growing. Every night, in her cell, she would close her eyes and remember the temple where she trained years ago, her master's voice echoing in her mind. True power is not in striking first. It is in knowing when not to strike. She remembered the discipline of Kung Fu, the balance of body and spirit. But that balance was slipping. Each humiliation chipped away at it. The breaking point came one evening in the laundry room. Brenda and her crew cornered Samantha. They tied her hands, laughing as they poured bleach water on her clothes. Brenda leaned in close, her breath hot with mockery. "You think you're better than us, don't you? Say something, quiet girl." Samantha's eyes opened, calm, unblinking. "You wouldn't understand." Brenda slapped her across the face. "Try me." Samantha's breathing slowed. Her hands clenched. For the first time, the old instincts awakened, the ones she'd buried deep since the night of the gas station. But she let Brenda walk away, choosing peace once more. Later that night, lying in her bunk, Samantha whispered to herself, "I came here to find peace, not to fight." But even she could feel it, the peace was running out. The next morning, the entire prison was on edge. Word spread Brenda was planning something big. She wanted to humiliate Samantha once and for all, in front of everyone. In the cafeteria, inmates gathered around like spectators at an arena. Brenda walked in, carrying a tray. Samantha sat quietly, eating rice, her eyes steady. Brenda slammed the tray down. "Stand up," she demanded. Samantha didn't move. Brenda grabbed her collar and yanked her up. "What's wrong, quiet girl? Cat got your tongue?" Samantha's eyes locked onto hers, cold, calm, but dangerous. The air changed. Even the guards felt it. Brenda sneered and threw the first punch, a wild swing that missed as Samantha stepped aside effortlessly. The second punch came faster, but Samantha blocked it with emotion so fluid it looked like water flowing around stone. The cafeteria fell silent. Then, in an explosion of precision and speed, Samantha moved. Every strike was clean, controlled, and devastating. She disarmed Brenda with a wrist twist, flipped her onto the table, and immobilized her with a single palm to the chest, a classic kung fu control move. Brenda's body went limp, the breath knocked out of her. No one had ever seen anything like it. The same quiet woman everyone mocked now stood tall, her presence commanding. "Violence isn't power," Samantha said, her voice steady. "Control is." The guards rushed in, but they didn't need to. Samantha stepped back, raised her hands, and calmly surrendered. Brenda lay on the floor, staring up, not with hate but with awe. After that day, the dynamic of the prison changed. Brenda stopped picking fights. The inmates began to respect Samantha not out of fear, but admiration. She began teaching small self-defense lessons during recreation hours, helping others find confidence without violence. Months later, Samantha's sentence was reduced for good behavior. As she walked out of the gates, the warden stopped her. "You could have started a war in there," he said. "Instead, you brought peace." Samantha smiled faintly. "Sometimes peace just needs a little discipline." She stepped into the sunlight, free again, but stronger, calmer, and more in control than ever before.